Did the Vikings win? The Vikings won. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
They're
Well,
still young.
the night is
Remember,
young. The
it was
season is young.
shitty. It was a shitty game, but it actually, when you look at the numbers, it wasn't as shitty as it actually looked. Still shitty, but just it wasn't as bad. There was a point where we're like, why does it feel like we're down 25, 28 points and we're only down 10? That's crazy.
You're right, but it was also a very bad game. It was a very bad game,
It was
very
terrible.
frustrating game.
Oh, spade a
Seems
spade.
like
That shit was terrible.
seems like nothing was going right. Defense couldn't stop the run. We had terrible PI penalties. Geno gets hurt, leaves the game. All of us holding our breath in the third quarter as Sam Howell enters the game. Man, I know we've talked about this a lot, all the Geno haters. What do you have to say? What do you have to say? I mean, I get it. Don't make any excuses for him. He was thrown in the wolves. He was a primetime game, expected to win the game for us. But what do y'all got to say? What do y'all got to say?
You're absolutely right. I'll give it to him. Like, if I give him anything, I'll give him that. You didn't get a chance to start the game, get in your groove. Hey, it's comeback time. You need to win us this game. Defense finally stopped them. Uh,
Right.
I'll give him that. Now, I remember a dude named Drew Lock came in against the Eagles, and it was
Yeah.
time we called his number and he had to step up. And how did that turn out, man? I was like, freak. Wish Drew was here right
Right.
now.
I
But
mean, we've seen multiple times when our backups have to come in and they score touchdowns for us, right? So I mean, you're a backup for a reason. You're not just there to help him throw the ball and warm up and practice, right? So, yeah, I'd be interested to see what all y'all Geno haters got to say, and all the ones that were wanting to put Sam in and take Geno out. So,
so many people,
yeah.
so many people. Well, they say, my dad always just say, careful what you say, careful what you wish for. You might actually get it. So
And y'all got it. You're welcome.
I feel bad for my dude, but damn,
Yeah.
how many people are like, oh, yes, Geno's out. This is your time to shine. Damn, they called your number and then stack, tip balls, 3 and out, pick. Damn.
Right. Okay, yeah, we'll just keep on this topic with Geno. Geno got hurt, low hit, knee injury. He was apparently practicing today, so I mean, they're not ruling him out for the next game. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It was already a frustrating game. My neighbors probably thought I was having like some sort of domestic dispute, but it was just me and my TV. Nothing else was going on. But I just felt like every time, I mean, the timing was a little bit off. Obviously, he hasn't gotten a ton of reps like at all in a game, but I just felt like he was throwing the ball, like, when you're just trying to throw the ball as far as you can as a kid and you like kind of close your eyes and you're not even like looking where you're throwing. I feel like that's what was happening. And I was like, it was hard to
Oh,
watch.
yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
you're playing backyard football and it's
Mhm.
not two-hand touch, it's tackle. So your boys are coming at
Mhm.
you, no pads, and you're trying to throw the deep bomb to your buddy who's out there yelling, "I'm about to moss this fool, throw it to me." You just like, "Hi." Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. That's how I felt was going on. I was like, "Why is he closing his eyes when he's throwing the ball? Like, why isn't he looking where he is throwing?" But, I mean, he had a couple few, like, good passes, maybe, I don't know. I feel like maybe we should try to run the ball a little bit more, but
I mean,
yeah. I mean,
and
overall, what do you think about our offense? Like, how do you think the play call went? How do you think overall? How do you think it went? Any standout moments? Positive standout moments? Do we have any?
yeah, some positive moments on offense. Zach Charbonnet, I'm sorry, man. You didn't do enough last week for them to lean on you
Right.
more, to trust giving you the ball. I'm sorry that happened to you, and I thank you for when they do call your number and they give you the ball, you
Mhm.
show out, man. That's all you can
Right.
do. There's your highlight for the game right there. That's all I got for the offense.
8
Um,
carries, 54 yards, which you're like, "Okay,
yeah,
that's not bad."
God damn it. I said last week, I gave the O line and Ryan Grubb give Ryan
Mhm.
Grubb the game ball, and now I'm just giving him balls. Now that was terrible. I was like, man, we just went right back to what we were doing. Like, why not there's a golden rule in football is take what the defense gives you. You know,
Right,
when
right.
you got a weapon like Sharp, you know, he may
Mhm.
not get a 6 yard gain. Hey, it's first down. If he gets a 2 yard gain, take it. That's a little chipping away. That's what wears defenses down, you know. So and
Right.
then once you wear him down, boom, he pops in for a big one, you know. So
I mean,
it's
they were
just
doing that to us, so I feel like we should have done the same thing, right? I mean, we
yeah.
talked about that too, right? That we have no sense of urgency in our first possession of the game. We haven't scored in our first drive.
You know, and at some point too, you know, I've been one of the biggest advocates for Geno and defenders of Geno because, and I still am. I mean, he is. We still need to sign him. He is
Mhm.
still amazing, um, but Geno makes mistakes too. Everybody does. For example,
Yeah. Yeah.
when we're in the red zone and we're trying to score, and we have trips to the left, meaning there's three of our wide receivers to the left. You have JSN, Tyler Lockett, and Noah Fant split out too. So three of my receivers are to my left, but I have DK on an island to the right.
Mm.
And what do I do? I throw a flood route progression. What that means is there's one short, one medium, and one in the corner. You're flooding one side,
Mhm.
and he throws it to a very congested area of the field, a small field too. Remember, in a red zone, it's very hard to score because the field shrinks. You have
Right.
extra defenders like the sidelines and the back of the end zone as defenders. I'm like, dude, we had nothing but field and corner of the end zone to DK. Like, I'm throwing that jump ball to him any day, and he threw it to the left. That corner, what's his name? I forgot, but he defended, almost got a pick, went right back to him, interception. Oh,
Right. I
that
feel like
that
we
was
were
just bad decision making in my part,
Mhm. Mhm.
in my
Mhm.
opinion. But
Yeah.
who am I?
Yeah, I feel like we saw things happening before it happened kind of a game and just kept repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again, and it was just hard to watch.
Yeah, but let's just like this is the frustrating part because we talk about this all the time. The curse on our team of why does it seem as if our offense can't score a touchdown on the first drive? We've been saying this week after week after week.
Mhm.
And then flip side, contrary to that, you have why can't the defense stop the
Stop.
opposing offense from scoring a touchdown on the first drive? Every freaking game, it seems as if the opposing offense is scoring on their first drive. So when you play like that, you're playing from you put yourself in a
Behind.
position to save from
Mhm.
play from behind. But also
Mhm.
people forget that you factor in there's something that actually exists that people don't know is momentum. Little
Mm.
things like that gives them just a little bit of momentum, and if you don't stop it, if you don't answer back, it only snowballs and it gets
Right.
worse.
Right.
And yeah, it's just that's what really then when the defense finally decides to show up, then and stop,
Too
which
late.
they did amazing in the second half.
Right.
Now Geno's hurt, and it's Sam Howell. God damn. And Geno, he's the fourth quarter comeback guy. Like I would, I don't,
Right.
I feel okay if he's behind the steering wheel in a close
Mhm.
comeback game. Like but yeah,
Yeah, me
man.
too.
So I this week I want to give. What do you give our offense? What grade do you give them?
Oh my gosh, I give them
And a
I
little
give
snippet as
them
to
a
why you think
I give them a D plus. I just
you're
feel like
you're very
we just
kind.
weren't am I kind, or should I give them an F? Because nothing was going right. We weren't fixing what was going wrong, like, I
You
don't
know, when
know.
I took a test, when I was a terrible test taker. I would try my
Me
hardest to do homework,
too.
and I
Me
would do terrible
too.
at tests in school. You know, and
Yeah.
but if I got a D, that means I did something right, at least on this test. You know, what
Mm,
do you think they did
maybe.
right?
Oh my gosh, that's a really good question. What do I think they did right? I mean, there wasn't like
You can copy my answer about Shar, but I mean, hey, you guys. the few times you did give him the ball, thank you. He showed out and did his part.
I mean, we had our moments with JSN as well too. Sharp and JSN. I'm gonna say those 2, but, I mean, that's pretty much it, I think.
I'll give you that. That's a good. You
Yeah,
know what? There's
yeah,
still some guys out there showed
you
heart,
can't
and they actually
yeah.
showed up. JSN showed up.
And I
Sharp,
think he's been
Sharp.
showing up every game. I feel like he's been probably one of our most consistent guys on offense this
Yeah.
whole season, and he's in his 2nd year, and I'm like, we can't let our 2nd year guy just carry the team, you know what I mean? So,
Well,
but yeah, I think
I,
that's why I give us a
I
D plus because we can't forget about those guys because it wasn't
I
all complete
I'll give him
trash.
that. Yeah, I'll give him that. No, I
Yeah.
was flat out. I couldn't like get over the offensive line play yesterday, man. You do so great. Yeah,
Mhm,
last week you don't give up a sack, and it was like completely different people showed up. I mean, like
mhm,
Abe Lucas. I will sing songs of Abe Lucas. He is so good. But even him, like yesterday, he was getting put on this behemoth of a man is getting put on roller skates, getting pushed right back into the quarterback. I was like, what is going on right now? Like our guys
right.
are literally just getting my Aunt Lena, Lena Thompson. She's the pastor at Lake Bury Presbyterian Church, younger sister of Jack Thompson, to throw in someone. So she knows her football.
Shout
And
out Aunt
yeah,
Lena.
shout out Aunt Lena. We talked ever since middle school, high school, college. Today we talk football, and we can actually talk X's and O's. Very impressive. But she's
Love that.
texting me. She's like, it's what is going on? Like all I see is that our O line is just getting out physicaled, you know.
Mhm,
And sometimes there's nothing complex about it. You're just getting beat one on one. The guy in front of you is beating you, like Saltao Lomel. Like I love the dude. I gotta show the dude love. He's someone. I'm someone. I gotta show him love. But bro,
mhm,
the last week came back this week, and all I saw was just him. Just they weren't running any stunts, any games, no twist. It was just one on one. I'm gonna own you, right now, and
mhm,
that's what
mhm.
happened, man. So it's tough. I couldn't get over that. So I was going straight for the F. But you're right
Right,
though, man. There are some people that showed out. So
right, right. And I think, like, when we go into these games, right, we talked about this. Green Bay came in with a game plan, and their game plan was probably just to run up our O-line because they know it's weak. You know what I mean? So it's not that hard to get to our quarterback. It's not that hard to
mhm.
put pressure on them, but they had a game plan, and it showed yesterday, clearly. So, yeah, okay, we'll do an average of what? D minus?
Yeah, we'll meet the middle. I'll
We'll do
take
an
that.
average of D minus. Alright,
Yeah.
enough with offense. Hopefully
Can you
Geno's
get
okay.
a can you get
Hopefully
a
he
degree with a
practices.
D?
No, C's get
Okay.
degrees. I had to retake anatomy, okay, because I got
Okay.
a
Okay.
69.9% and the lady would not pass me. 69.9%. She would not give me a 70.
Well,
Trash.
look at you now. Who gets the last laugh?
Let's go to the defense, shall we?
Yeah.
Defense. Oh god. Do we even want to talk about the defense?
Yeah, I think it's worth talking about. I actually,
Yeah,
there's definitely now you say give me something positive to talk about. There is a lot to talk about.
okay. Where do you wanna start?
I don't wanna talk about too much because I could go on for days, but the first half, no secret, we shit the bed the first half, you know?
Yes.
But
Yes.
something I feel like, Seattle, it's crazy because even under the Pete Carroll era, we were known for our defense to be able to make adjustments, except for,
Mhm.
like, the end of the Carroll era.
Right.
But, Mike McDonald has you've seen him progressively get better at, his team clicking and making the right adjustments at halftime, and they showed out the second half. The only problem is, you give the offense momentum, early
Mhm.
on. You give them momentum, you give them some hope, and then we don't do anything. That's the problem is we didn't answer back. When
Right.
I'm saying we can't score, I don't want to get stuck on the offense, but when we can't score on offense and they score, you're behind 7-0. Then
Right.
they get the ball back and we give up the big play. The big play. That's the other thing that kills us. So
Yeah.
if we can eliminate the big plays and learn how to answer the phone when it's your time to, make the call
Mhm.
and score on offense, you got to show up, man. I don't even
Right.
want to get into penalties, but I was proud of the
Oh,
boys.
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah, I was proud of the boys in the second half. because they did their thing, but unfortunately, our fourth quarter king, was out. So
Right, right.
hey,
I mean, and like you said, like, if our offense isn't scoring, like last week, every time we had a turnover, right? Every time we had an interception, we would score on the next drive. And so that's not what they were doing in this game. And so, like you said, we were constantly fighting, trying to just chip away, and we couldn't chip away. But another thing, like you said, you didn't want to talk about was penalties. We had so many huge PI penalties deep that killed us.
hmm
And I'm were they just not in the right position? Were they just getting beat? Were they just not timing it correctly? Were they just not what was it?
there's there is such a thing where no matter how good somebody is, there are some games, some days you just shit the bed.
Right.
I want to say that that might have been it because their receivers, they have a really young receiving class, like, and we have a very talented secondary.
Mhm,
So it's hard
mhm,
for me to say that we just got outplayed. Like, some of those plays, Joe, but he was guarding a deep fade route on the outside one play, and he got called on a PI, but he was sprinting behind the guy, and the guy turned around and stopped, and he crashed into him and got the flag.
mm, right,
If he didn't get beat, he wouldn't have been in that position. But
right.
it's like that wasn't like, oh, you just got outplayed. It was almost like you just happened to crash into the dude because you're trying to play catch up.
Mhm,
And Jordan Love just happened to underthrow it, so it's like it worked
right,
out in their favor. But I think this is something that needs to be brought up and talked about. I said it in the preseason, and Lofa and I kind of had our disagreements about it. It was both truths to both sides, but I was like, Tariq Woolen, man, every his rookie season, killer, killer, killer. And even his sophomore season, people call it a sophomore slump, but he actually still put up numbers. I was not buying it. This season, I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not impressed. I texted this last night on our thread. Is like,
right,
dude, Tariq Woolen I think is our weakest
mhm,
link on our defense. He's one of the most gifted, you know, but I don't know what has changed. I see how he gets beat at times, but I'm like, but he never played like that in his freshman year or his rookie year. I mean, so it's like, that's not. Is that really how he plays, or I don't know? But
right,
I'm telling you right now, teams after this game, if I was an offensive coordinator, I am targeting him. I don't care how
right,
fast, how tall. I'm going at him now because either one, we're going to get a big play, or two, we're going to draw a flag. I'll take either one, Well, it gives us
mhm.
yards. So that's, yeah. Yeah. Anyways, there's so many things that you put them together, make it a shitty game and make it easy for Green Bay.
I
I,
mean,
to
and that's
me,
what we did. We literally made it so easy for them. They could just, like, walk right into the end zone once we got all those penalties too, and it was just not stopping the run was one of the most frustrating things to watch because we've talked about that all season. We've talked about that all season, stopping the run.
where are you investing? You're the offensive coordinator, not the offensive coordinator. You're the general manager of the Seahawks. You are now. We just fired John Schneider. Okay, hired Alex Higa as the
Whoa.
Seattle Seahawks new GM. What are you going after this offseason? What position group?
I would say O-line,
Any
obviously. I feel like
specific?
center. Center. I feel like we
I'm mad
haven't
at
had a good center, like, in the last how many years? We
that.
haven't had, like, a solid center, and I think my dad would always talk about this too. I think the thing with Russell Wilson too is, like, he wasn't very tall,
Yeah,
so when you have big centers, it's hard for him to see over them. So, I mean, now that Geno's taller, so he
I
has a
think
little bit
I
more height.
agree. I agree. I would put my money on the interior, like center
Mhm.
and guards.
I mean,
Um,
it's something that we've never done, right? So it's like, why not try it out and see what works? I mean,
That's just that's the part. Yeah, what can you lose? I mean, but to your point, I mean, we really are stacked at a lot of the other positions. Like we have a
mhm,
lot of talent at every single position.
Right.
other than the interior O line. Like it's crazy. We are getting beat in the middle all the time. Abe Lucas and Charles Cross, they get beat every once in a while and give up a sack
Mhm.
here
Mhm.
and there, but it's the interior O line that is making life hell for
Right.
Geno and our running backs, you know. And if
Right.
life's hell for them, then it's just going to be like, what the hey, I'm receivers, like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, don't forget about us, man.
Right.
Can't they're useless if we can't freaking block for Geno. So
Yeah.
how many times did we throw to DK? By the way, man, I just can't get off how shitty the offense was yesterday. I'm sorry, man, but I
I
was
think
like
maybe like twice, maybe.
two.
I don't know.
I
There wasn't
think
very
I
many.
actually think it definitely might have been at least three because I think he actually had 3 catches and he only got the third one at the end of the game. So I think it's like two or I think it might have been
Maybe
three max.
3 receptions, 28 yards, yeah.
How many targets does it show?
I don't see that one, but I don't think it was very many, honestly.
Man, I think it might have been three or maybe four targets. I don't
'Cause
know,
he was
but
I mean, he was getting, like, double team, triple team too, which opened up other people, but still, like, he's a big ass guy. Like, why aren't we and that's the thing I feel some type of way about DK is, like, he's so big, but I don't think he really truly plays to his stature and his size as he should. Um, but that's just my opinion.
hmm.
I don't
Okay,
feel like he's playing to his full potential and what he could be because of his size and not taking advantage of it, but
yeah,
I feel like he could be way more lethal if I don't know. I don't know. There's just
I
something
just
about him. I just feel like he's not the receiver that
he ain't AJ Brown right now. I'll tell you that much. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, can you first of all, can you imagine playing in college if you're a quarterback and you are so fortunate enough and blessed to have AJ Brown on one side and DK on the other side? Like, oh
What
man, holy smokes!
I mean, I remember when Cooper Kupp was at Eastern. I
Mhm.
remember when they played UW, it was like a battle of how many touchdowns, literally of how many touchdowns you could throw to your receivers. It was freaking wild, but it's like on both sides. Like the quarterback, I forget his name, but he had receivers like I that and once you have those kinds of receivers on your team, like it's like game over. You won. It's like how many touchdowns can we score in a game pretty much.
Yeah, yeah, man. And I think, but I also think that DK. As much as I agree with you at times on that one, especially too, I was like,
Mhm.
but we got to give the dude a chance. Like, throw him the
Right,
goddamn ball. He's too talented not to throw him the ball.
right.
It's like, yeah, we can use him as a decoy, which he definitely was. He was pulling three DBs into him or
Mhm.
freeing up other receivers all game. So that's if you weren't that good, it wouldn't command that type of respect on the defense. So
That's
um,
true.
I wish we would have just thrown the ball more. But you know
Yeah,
what? The season's still young. Geno still got. We haven't got any bad news about him. There's 3 games
right.
left, and a lot can happen. A lot can happen in one game. So yeah,
A lot can happen in one game, you're right. Should we give our defense a grade?
I'll give them a solid C plus.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I wasn't giving them like
the
a C minus.
I'd give them a C plus because if you, I mean, think about it, third quarter, the score was three
Mm,
three.
right,
They scored a field goal and we only scored a field goal. Fourth quarter, they scored seven and we scored seven. So we held them pretty good. They got that late deep touchdown in the back of the end zone,
right.
like I was I want to say it was like a freaking skinny post route, but I was like kind of like I think of those as garbage time touchdowns, but
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. Um
Okay. So
anyways,
average. Average. We're alright. We alright. We alright.
if they play like that the first half, this could be an easy another potential freaking B plus A minus type of defense, but they didn't.
100%.
So
Right.
it's all about complimentary football, y'all.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Okay, a couple things I wanna talk about. How do you feel about our action green jerseys?
Funny you say that. I went to my closet just to grab this one.
Okay.
And I was like, I wanted to actually talk about that. I am so freaking over those dumbass jerseys. First of all, they're ugly as hell. I used to like, ooh, look how loud
Mhm.
those are. Like, what perfect jersey to have for a Legion of Boom era, like they're
Right.
making noise, they're making history. Hell, let's just do all of that while wearing some loud ass jerseys.
Mhm, mhm.
And now it's like you, I played football with a dude in college. He was I don't want to say his name, but uh, all state in high school, like blue chip player out of O'Day High
Mhm.
School, and really good. The dude, when we got to college, sometimes it just doesn't click in college, and he ended up not
Mhm.
playing very much. But every game, he would get just the visor on, the back flap out, the wrist, the
Mm.
gloves, the spat on the cleats. He had wristband, like literally wristband, all the way up, and then he'd come out, and like, dude, this guy he must be dope. He came out and would never even see the field, and I'm like, oh, that
Um,
sucks. Like he just never saw the field.
right.
And granted, and so it's just one of those things. Like, man, if I wasn't balling out like that, I'm the type of guy that I don't want to draw a lot of attention to myself. You know what I mean?
Mhm, mhm.
So these jerseys, I feel like right now in this transition team, not a rebuild team, but a transition
Right.
team, when you're
Right.
hot and cold, well, shit, if you're gonna wear some action green jerseys, you better be steaming hot because you're gonna look real
You better
dumb.
be you better be about that action, that's all I'm saying. And I'll just say it, I don't like them. I think they're ugly. I haven't really liked them from the jump. Um,
Yeah,
and I wanna say, like, we talked about this, I don't think we played well wearing them either. I don't know if the stat is super correct, but it says that we're on a 3-game losing streak while
yeah,
wearing these jerseys.
chuck them,
I think we
chuck them.
should retire these and just put the old school jerseys in rotation more so. I like the old school jerseys. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, yeah. You know
Yeah,
what though? Jerseys. There are some people. There's all the superstitions about like jersey
right.
combinations. And I was watching an interview with Cam Newton, and he was talking about how their equipment man very very superstitious about like certain combinations.
I
And
love
then
that.
there was the Super Bowl um, where they were playing Denver, and it was, I want to say that everybody was saying he was saying we need to wear these ones because we always win if we do this.
Mm.
And they didn't. They ended up not doing the combination he was saying to push for. Well, the rest is
And
history. That was
they
Von
lost.
Miller came in and ended Cam Newton's career. Not that game, but his career just went
Mm.
downhill after that.
Right, right, right.
But yeah, so I was like, this is one of those signs where we 0-3 the last three times we wear them. Maybe we should read between the lines and scrap these things. Plus, they're ugly as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I wouldn't be mad if we got rid of them, which maybe it's time. It's time. It's time. It's fine. It's
If you're gonna do something like the Jets. Remember when we played the Jets a few weeks ago? They had the matte black helmets. Ooh, those
Ooh,
were saucy. I love those.
right.
Those
Right.
black jerseys, matte black. That was
All
nice.
black everything is my go-to outfit, honestly.
Mhm. So, no, I agree. I want to get rid of them too. So, yeah.
Okay.
What else
Uh,
going on?
quickly, it was just the NFC West. Obviously, we're in second place now. Rams went to the top with their ugly win against the 49ers. But their schedule is they got Jets, Cardinals, and us, right? So their schedule is looking pretty I don't know. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but compared to ours, we got Vikings, Bears.
What makes it hard for them? What makes it hard for them and better for us is that two of those three games are divisional games, and no matter how
True,
shitty, like you said, there have been many
true.
years where Arizona was, for lack of better words, poo poo. Okay. And what happens when we came and played them when we're like doing well? You always say we play down to the level. Those are tough games, divisional games. So
You're
don't
right, you're
sleep
right.
on us there, going against them. And then they got to go through us too. So,
True, true, true. All right, we're sitting at number 2, currently out of first place and currently out of the playoffs, so we need to step it up.
damn, we went from third seed to in the hunt. Just forget wild card. We in the hunt now. Damn.
Nope, we out there. And then we got
Let me
Cardinals sitting
in. Let me
3rd.
in.
And then our Niners at the bottom.
You know what? I feel from my dogs over there, man. Like
Yeah,
I love competitive football and I hate to see it as much as we all like to say F the Niners. Like what makes it so fun is when they're so good and we've been
right,
good so good throughout the years. If they just completely shit the bed and are at the bottom, like what do we have to look forward to anymore? You know that rival. Like,
right.
believe it or not, when I was younger, Seattle and the Niners, I never remember a time where that was the rivalry. It was the St. Louis Rams with
I was gonna
Marshall
say it's the
Faulk
Rams.
and
Mhm,
freaking Seattle. It was the Niners. I love that's what they had. Jeff Garcia at quarterback. They had Kevin Barlow at running back, dope ass running back. But they were like always at the bottom, and it was like it didn't.
right,
It was when Harbaugh came in and they started winning, and then yeah,
mhm,
now it's all Niners and Seahawks. So yeah, but if to see them kind of where they're at right now, that I like the rivalry. It's
right.
what we're
Me
gonna talk
too.
about.
I'm glad we played them a little bit early in the season, but, I mean, their linebacker, Devondre Campbell, quit in the middle of the game. What did the Niners do? They suspended him for the rest of the season, which means other teams cannot pick him up, and which means they don't have to
Good,
pay him. So
good.
he gets out like $260,000, and yeah, I mean, what did you expect? Greenlaw was the starter, and he came back. He wasn't gonna play the whole game, right? You're still gonna
Yeah,
play.
and you know what is crazy is you know you we I was always told protect your brand, protect your name, your
Mm,
family name.
right.
Growing up, you represent not just you, but you represent your family. And so it's like when we're talking about your brand. Not only did he let his team down like that, like ugh, in the worst way possible. I would be surprised if nobody pressed him in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
that's the type of stuff that'll start fights. But that that's if the Niners don't sign him, which I would be shocked if they bring him back.
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
glad they did what they did. Block him, like make him feel this one. But
Right.
if I'm another coach, is that the type of player with that brand that I want to bring into my team? You know what I'm saying? That could
No,
walk
and
out.
he's not like a rookie, he's a vet, so it's like, why
Yeah,
are you acting like this?
yeah, man. So
Yeah, but
he
it's like,
might have
why are you
done.
gonna
Might be
yeah,
hard for you to unfuck yourself on this one, man. So yeah, you did
right.
that to yourself.
Remember, you
How
guys,
many
it's a
people
team sport.
would kill to be on a game? How many people would
100%.
kill to be signed off the practice squad just for not even a step in the game? Activate me. I'll stand on the sideline, and if somebody gets hurt, hey, call me, coach. Call
I'm
my number.
ready.
You
Yeah,
know,
so
then
many
you have something
people.
like that. It's crazy.
I
So
know, it's too bad, but, I mean, we're still in the hunt, we got 3 games left in regular season. I won my first week of playoffs, let's go, in fantasy football.
I have to look right
Did
now.
you? Check.
So check
I
this out.
won.
I was losing as I was setting up for this. I stopped watching because I was like, "Fuck, I only have a 3% chance of winning." Then my boys texted me, "Damn, Ryan, you're gonna lose." My homeboy Ryan, I was playing, and
Yeah.
then I was like, "Wait, what?" And I came back in, and where did it go? That's me on the left.
Let's go, 3
I ended up
points.
winning one of my three.
Stop. Let's go. Let's
I
go.
uh
Let's
I
go.
follow this dude named Top Billin. I love his stuff, love his content. He coined Geno, eat at Geno, so I use that as my fantasy football name right there, team name. If y'all haven't watched Top Billin, he does some great coverage on the Hawks, man. Some
Yeah,
good stuff. So um yeah, and don't
shout out.
come. He'll say the same shit I say. Don't bring no dumb shit you talking about in the comments, talking about get rid of Geno. Go watch somebody else's channel if you want to do some stuff like that. Bring in Sam Howell.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fire
let's
Mike McDonald. We
let's
should have. Oh God. Kid, I'm sorry.
yeah, okay. Yeah, people are crazy. People are crazy. But you know what? The season's still going on. We still got 3 games left. We still got work to do. We still got time to improve. So hopefully when we play the Vikings next week.
Ooh, boy. If you thought This game was hard. Yeah, you better tighten up, Seattle Hawks. It's going to be a tough one. And I'll just say this: Geno, for us
Yes,
to even have a chance at the rest of the season, my man's got to come back. So
I know. Hopefully you're getting good treatment. Hopefully you're resting. Hopefully you're elevating. Rice, rest, ice, compress, elevate. Don't forget that. All right.
right. Well,
Rice. Well,
good, bad, ugly. We always show up, man, and we appreciate y'all for showing up with us too.
yes, thank you. That's the first step of creating consistency, showing up, and we appreciate it.
Love it.
All right, y'all. We'll catch y'all next week. Have a good week.
All
Oh
right,
my God,
y'all.
Christmas is next week, but we'll see y'all before Christmas.
I don't
All
even have
right.
a tree. Yeah,
Josiah.
I'm fired. I'm
Okay, go get a
feeling.
tree right now. Get out. Get out.
Yeah, we
Leave.
just moved to Las Vegas, man. I do not like Las Vegas, and the tree's been the last thing on my mind, man. Goodness. So,
Okay,
anyways,
we'll check in with Josiah next week and see if he gets a tree.
take it easy, bro.